never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it when it can have a very positive impact.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
The way we're going to win over the long term is not just militarily. We've got to win over hearts and minds. And what that means is we've got to invest in countries that have no educational infrastructure, have no means for young people to get ahead. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Stay tuned for politics and religion.
By now, you know there will be a climate change meeting in Copenhagen in December of this year. Many people are saying that this is the meeting that will save the world. Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the United Nations, actually had a speech entitled 50 Days to Save the World. Well, now this breaking news. The past couple of days have uncovered some shocking revelations about the baloney practices that pass as sound science about climate change. Now, we've been hearing for a long time that if you're for global warming and if you say that global warming is man-made, that you get funding from the government, from the United Nations and other sources. If you're against it, then you are cut off and sort of sent out there into scientific no man's land. Well, it was announced Thursday afternoon that computer hackers had obtained 160 megabytes of emails from Climate Research Unit, CRU, at the University of East Anglia in England. Those emails involved communication among many scientific researchers and policy advocates with similar ideological positions all across the world. Those purported authorities were brazenly discussing the destruction and hiding of data that did not support global warming claims. Now, Senator Inhofe has for a long time said that this whole thing is a hoax, that it's only being pushed by people who want one world government, and they see climate change legislation as the structure leading to global governance. And it's so interesting that the new president of Europe, Mr. Herman Van Rompuy, just made a statement in his speech just a few days ago that the legislation that will be passed at the Copenhagen conference is going to be the beginning of a structure for global governance. And so Al Gore said the same thing. He said that climate change legislation will, in fact, usher in global governance. Now, let's not get confused here. What does global governance mean? Okay, global means world, right? Governance means government. So we're talking about world government. They are ushering in world government right now, and they're using climate change. And the theory says we're all interdependent. We all breathe the same air. We all drink the same water. Therefore, we must adopt a system of interlocking laws that will ensure clean air, clean water, will ensure that the planet does not warm and that we don't destroy all human, plant, and animal life off the face of the earth. Now, it's all being done under the guise that we're in a warming period, even though the last warmest day was 10 years ago in 1998. That was the warmest day, actually 11 years ago now. And we're in a cooling trend since, but now they're trying to disguise this. And these emails that have just been made public on the internet are stating that some of the leading climate change scientists were brazenly discussing in their private emails the destruction and hiding of data because it did not support global warming claims. The article goes on to say, among his emails, Mr. Phil Jones, who is a professor, the head of Climate Research Unit, and Professor Michael E. Mann of Pennsylvania State University, among his emails, Mr. Jones talked to Mr. Mann about the trick of adding in the real temps to each series to hide the decline in temperature. Scientist? People who are moving this world into a massive wealth redistribution scheme called cap and trade, and they're using voodoo science in order to convince us that they're actually falsifying science in order to hide the decline in temperature. I'm taking this from the Washington Times, ladies and gentlemen. This is breaking right now, and you need to really pay attention. The article went on to say, Mr. Jones told Mr. Mann, if they ever hear there is a Freedom of Information Act now in the UK, I think I'll delete the file rather than send to anyone. And we also have a Data Protection Act, which I will hide behind. What are you trying to hide? That we're falsifying information on global warming because we want these interlocking laws that will bring about one world government. Wow. Lindsay